Welcome to another edition of Smart Chat here on YouTube.com. And today I want to talk about aliens. Aliens and Baron Davis. Now, you guessed it, the one and only Baron Davis claimed that he was abducted by aliens. And I quote, it was actually from a podcast here. It's actually Champ's podcast. Quote, Baron Davis said he was actually abducted by aliens. He had crossed into his own personal twilight zone while driving, like, quote, 2 weeks ago, from Vegas to LA. And if you know that stretch from Vegas to LA, it's all straight out barren desert, nothing around, just straight drive, nothing. Quote, I was on my way from Vegas here to LA, and this episode aired on Thursday. I'm a little tired and shit, and I see this light and I think it's a big ass truck. Then the next thing you know, dude, like I was in this effing steel thing. It was a scene. It was a scene straight out of Space Jam. That's right, folks, it gets better. I was stuck with these fucking crazy looking people who are half human, like fucking ugly motherfuckers. Quote still continues. And keep in mind that this guy, he was last with the Knicks, tore out his knee, was on some type of medication, supposedly while he's seen this. And now keep in mind, after he's explaining this on the podcast, he had every opportunity to retort after he kept the gag going and be like, listen, I'm just busting your tails. Because he was asked that and he denied it. Continues. Dude, they were poking me on my nose and shit, Davis replied. They were poking me on my nose and they were like looking me in my eyes. Continues Davis. They had my hands like tied up, and the next thing you know I was effing in Montego, dude, burning rubber on the way back to LA. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. The encounter ended, he claimed, like most wild nights in California, with a pit stop at In-N-Out Burger. I just got off the next exit, said Davis. I come back and like I'm sharper and shit. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. The aliens look like aliens from Space Jam, says Baron Davis. Aliens. Now my only question is, were these aliens hot? Because if they were hot, and this story is true, then Baron Davis just had the night of his life. I mean, I think honestly that he's all serious. I mean, you really don't have any stories and any wild tales prior to his, in his playing days, so he seems reputable. The man thinks he's seen aliens that look like the aliens from Space Jam. Who knew? And then what happens is he goes back on it a day or two later on Twitter, saying that the whole thing was a joke. You know what I think really happened? Is Baron Davis really thinks that this is true. And he just tweeted that because now he's just being ridiculed, thinking that he's a crazy man. But again, if these aliens were hot, if they were female aliens and hot for alien, hot alien type, as much as aliens are ugly, if that makes any sense, then Baron Davis should not be apologizing. he had the night of his life. So let me know, what are some of your thoughts? What about those aliens? All my information's found below, and until next time, later, Marks.